Anybody else?
Discount.
Employee discount.
Jeffrey, what'd you say? Yeah, so this is gonna be a % off. So why would you give this to certain people?
An employee discount.
Okay, maybe, but
Veterans discount.
this is kind of a different kind of thing. Okay, maybe a veterans, I can live with that one.
Senior discount.
What?
To make them come back.
To make them come back, okay, yeah.
A senior discount.
A senior discount, maybe, what else? Okay, but now think about more of the business end. Think of why Luke, remember our, what we were talking about yesterday? That Luke was the big guy, and we're all buying from Luke. Why would Luke give us a discount? What did we say about Easton compared to Tragan yesterday?
Easton was better.
Not he was better.
Loyal.
He was more loyal, right? Okay? So why would he now give that same discount to Tragan?
So Tragan could do
Or he would at least try to be. And if you think about these kind of trade discounts, you're thinking about getting paid. Luke's thinking about getting paid. So he's thinking about getting paid actually before the time frame that the contract would say that he needs to get paid. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So Luke would send out all of his accounts, and he would send this to everybody. And we all know how Easton tends to put off things, right? So his company always waits to the very last second to pay his bill. That's just how his company was, right? Tragan's on the other end, okay? As soon as he gets that bill, he's going to pay it. Well, Luke's going to reward Tragan for doing that. And he's going to give him money off for paying early, in a sense. Okay? So that's what this is going to be. So we're going to start a purchase order, basically. And this is an agreed upon price and how it will be delivered. So again, Justice, do you have to do any of that kind of stuff? Get deliveries and stuff? Are you a part of that process?
Like when the ops person comes in?
No, more like
When
your...
ice cream comes in, or like,
Yeah.
If we
Sprinkles
have
and
ice
stuff.
cream come in when I'm there, usually we have the biggest person.
Okay.
It's Brenda on the other.
Somebody else is there. Okay. So what I'm getting at is you would have somebody there waiting for that. So Easton would hire somebody. Easton would hire Chloe, and Chloe would be his production person. So as soon as they got a truck in, Chloe's got to be there to check it all off and make sure it's right. Okay? She's going to look at it and see if anything's damaged. Anything didn't come in. So if it's damaged, she's going to turn it right back around and say, hey, Carter, take it right back to your truck and put it back on the truck. I don't want that box. You know what I'm saying? Because she's not going to put up with that kind of stuff. So, turn to page 425. And we'll look at this little sheet that would come in. So, this sheet right here would be given to Chloe as Carter's coming off the truck to deliver this. He's going to give this pink slip to Chloe or whoever's in charge. Chloe's going to look at it. She's going to go through all the things. Did I get 36 nylon 2-inch brushes? Did I get 48 of the 3-inch brushes? And so on and so forth. So she's going to check that with what they ordered compared to what they got.
I got my science.
That's right. Go get it. Okay? Now, notice above the top, or above, right above that. So we have an order number. We have the date entered, the date shipped, the invoice date, the term of sale. Okay? Does everybody understand all that stuff? What's the difference between the date entered, the date shipped, and the invoice date? And what's the invoice date? When it actually probably got to Chloe, or hope that it's going to get to Chloe. Okay, so this would be where you would probably have a little leeway, especially maybe not now. We're probably getting back to normal a little bit, but 3 months ago, 6 months ago, when we're really heavy into the pandemic, the trucking process probably took a little bit longer times, right? Shipping and that kind of thing. So the term of sales is what we're actually talking about today, though. See where it says 2/10, 1/30, and then N/60? That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay? So, remember when Jeff said we get a little portion off? That's what we're talking about with that. So basically, in a sense, when Chloe gets this, she's going to look at that third fraction, which in this case says N/60. That tells you that you need to pay this within 60 days. That's what you have. That's the time frame you have, and you won't get anything added on to it. So if you don't hit this in 60 days, what do? They charge you extra, or they just basically say, we're done doing business, and we come back and we get our stuff. All right? So, that's the most important date that you have there, but the other dates are important. So, Tragan's going to get this in his company, and he's going to try to take advantage of the 2/10 or the 1/30. The 2/10 means, the first number means that you get a discount of 2% if you pay within the number of days that would essentially be the denominator. So this is the percent off. This number right here is the number of days that you would have. So if Tragan returns his and has his stamp on it, or sends it in the mail, or sends it electronically now, within the first 10 days he gets 2% off. Some of you are saying, well, 2% is not that big of a deal. It is though, right? You know, if you punch into your calculator $25,000, if I'm buying $25,000 at a time and I get 2% off, that's probably a big deal, right? You know, that's $5,000 or $500. $500 goes a long ways. Okay? If we get past the first 10 days, but we make it within the first 30 days, okay, then we get 1% off. And then after the first 30 days, we have up to 60 days to make that full payment. Okay, so does that make sense with the trade discounts? So we're looking at trying to figure out what it is. When they're talking about the pay period, it's usually called the credit period, and it's usually between 60 and 90 days for all those to take place. And again, you would have this all figured out, and you're going to know about this. And again, here's another big thing, though, to make sure of. So I'm kind of switching tracks here at the same time. But you would get used to this, and this would basically be a pretty routine thing that you would come with. You would know that, again, if we're talking pizza delivery or a restaurant, I would know when I'm going to get certain kind of foods, and I would get ready for that. Or I would know that these guys are coming on one day, you know, the alcohol people are coming on the next day, the people that are bringing me napkins are coming on a different day, and you would kind of get used to that. Okay? So when you're figuring this out, notice here, always figure this amount from the invoice date. So again, look at this. It's not the date that was entered or the date that it was shipped. It was the invoice date. That's really important because notice on these two, it was entered on 6/7, but the invoice date wasn't until 6/10. So your time frame doesn't start until that invoice date. That's really important. So, as we said earlier, if you don't make that date, you can be charged interest. If this happens more than once, you're probably going to upset Luke enough that he's going to have to make a decision if he wants to continue to do business with you. Okay? So again, the big part of this is you got to know how many days are in each month. So if you get this bill in the middle of some month, you got to know how many days are in each of those months. So again, notice up here, I wrote this down for you. But again, you can use your knuckles, but some of you are confused with the knuckle thing. So maybe you just need to pay attention to the dates. So 30 days are in September, April, June, and November. 31 are January, March, May, July, August, October, and December. And then obviously February's are kind of weird one. But again, if you're going to do the knuckle thing, you always start on the way outside. And knuckles, the high knuckles are 31, the low knuckles are 30 or 28. And then you go back to back. Okay? You go back to back. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So back to back. July and August are both 31. Okay? Notice, don't count the invoice date as a part of the counting. Don't count the invoice date. All right? So, we'll do the examples all together at the end. So the next part of this then, now let's do these examples right now actually. So, turn to page 427. A couple of these are just trying to figure out when you're going to pay, so these are good ones to go over with the dates. So if we have to do these calculations on the board, we can. Letter A, credit terms of 1/15, N/30 appear on an invoice dated November 28th. What are the discount date and the due date of the invoice? So, what is the last date that I would get my discount? So the first thing I need to know is how many days are in November? 30, okay. So do I count November 28th? No. So how many days in November am I counting? 2, right? The 29th and the 30th? Right? So what's my due date that I could get December 13th, right? Because I have 2 days in November and then it was up to 15th. Okay, so what's my due date? What is the actual due date? How much? December 28th, right? Again, the due date just starts at that same date, but it's the full 30 days. Now here's where you really have to make sure that you understood, are they going to make deliveries and everything and count the days through Christmas and those kind of things. So you'd really want to make sure that you understand if they're going to charge you for that or not. Okay? How about the next one? Invoice dated March 20th has terms of 3/15, 1/30, and the payment should be in 45 days. So, if it's March 20th, and we're going to have 15 days to get 3%, what's the last date that I can have? April 4th. Excellent. How about the second one? So again, the biggest thing that I have to know is how many days are in March. And then I'm starting on the 1st, right? Or sorry, the 21st. So what'd you come up with? April 19th. Perfect. And the last one. So when is my bill definitely due? What's 45 days after my invoice date? How much? May 4th. Exactly right. Everybody understand what they're doing there? Okay? Let's go down to C. Find the cash discount and the cash price. Oh, we better talk about that. So what's the cash price and the cash discounts? The cash discount is going to be the invoice price times the rate of the cash discount. So did you get inside those certain number of days? And if you did, you would have a cash discount. The cash price is going to be what they are going to actually get charged. So it's basically taking that deduction away. Okay? So I guess the other thing is when we say the word cash here in this case, it doesn't really mean that we're necessarily using cash. Check would still be okay with cash. All right? So in letter C, find the cash discount and the cash price of $23,747 invoice If the invoice is paid within the first discount period, the credit terms are 4/5, 1/30, and N60. So, what am I gonna do with $23,747? Times it by 4%. Everybody understand that? So I'm gonna take 23,747 times 0.04. So, how much do I get off if I pay within the first 5 days? Anybody punch that in your calculator? So, if you did or didn't, the number is $949.88. So, here's the question right there. Is that worth it? Heck yes, right? Heck yes. So, if I can do this, if I have money that's around, that's a pretty good chunk of change. We're talking $950. That's a lot, right? Okay? So, again, this would be called my what? This is my cash discount. So again, this is really important when you get to the quiz and the test that you understand the vocabulary. And then we're going to find the cash price by doing what?
43,097.
Right. Take the original amount minus the discount, and that's my cash price. So the cash price again is how much I actually will have to pay. And if you do this, we're going to have to pay $22,797. So, to me, that one's pretty easy because they basically told you which one to do, right? They told you to do the first version, meaning the first 4/5. The next one's a little harder because you got to actually figure out which one you do. So, in letter D, it says, an invoice dated July 28th totals $12,836. Credit terms are 2/15, 1/30, and N45. If the invoice totals paid on August 13th, what are the cash discounts and cash price? So, from July 28th as my invoice date to August 13th, did I fit in the first time frame? 2/15? No? So, did I fit into the second one? Did I pay within 30 days? So, I'm going to take 12,836 times what? 0.01. So again, you don't think that that's probably that big of a deal, but we still saved what? $128, right? Still saving money. So again, that one just a little bit more that you have to think about because you actually had to figure out which one it was. Okay? My cash discount would have been the times 0.01, so $128.36. My cash price is then taking that amount and subtracting it from the original, which was $12,836. All right, questions here? We'll come back and finish the rest of the examples tomorrow.